Hey, wrestling fans, welcome to the One Wing Wrestling Podcast, where we help you navigate the complex world of pro wrestling, bringing you the best matches, world-class wrestlers, and news you can count on. At One Wing Wrestling, we bring the elite to you. I'm your host, Krishna and join me, as always, is Mr. Bill Cupwish. Bill, how's it going?
It's going. It's gone back to being slightly cold outside. So, my walk today was a little more chill than usual. Um, yeah, it's I don't know. It's a week, man. It's a week. We're getting into
Yeah,
that January blahs period, I think.
yeah, January. I mean, I had a long day today. Obviously, it's a good thing. Like there was like been quiet on the Western front here for the like wrestling news wise, like everything since like Kenny Omega and Will Ospreay's match, like really that's been the only thing taking up all the news, like nothing else I've heard of recently. So I mean, yeah, things have been great.
So you clearly missed the announcement of Stardom's card on February the 4th, right?
Stardom has a card on February the 4th. When did this happen?
Exactly. You see, now for me, this is massive news. The chance to see Suzu Suzuki taking on Julia for the World of Stardom Championship. I cannot wait. Never mind Momo Watanabe taking on Saya Kamatani for the Wonder of Stardom Championship. Oh my God, this card is going to be insane.
Yes, it sounds like the most epic wrestling news that we probably heard in the past 24 to 48 hours, right?
Oh yeah, I hear Stephanie McMahon resigned too, but who cares about that?
I don't. I mean, honestly, I'll tell you the truth. I don't, but I don't watch WWE that much. So I mean,
I don't watch
what
WWE at all.
what that means to like the WWE like audience stuff like that. Like I don't know what it means to WWE. Like
It
yeah,
means Nick Khan is in control. Though, here's a story for you. So my wife came home today and she was talking about this news because it was actually playing on like the local news station here in Toronto. They were talking about this whole thing and they gave a rundown of what happened with Vince McMahon and stuff.
mhm.
And then she's like, so yeah, I hear that like Stephanie McMahon resigned and that this guy Khan, he's in charge of the WWE, like the CEO. And she goes, isn't he like in running a different wrestling company? And I'm like, well, no, that's Tony Khan, not
Tony,
Nick Khan. This is
Tony,
Nick Khan. She goes, are they related? I'm like, no.
not at
Are you
all.
sure they're not related? I'm like, I'm
Hundred
very sure.
percent, 100% not related.
100% sure that they are in fact not related. Yes. So yeah. Yeah. So it's big enough news story that it's on like local news radio.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I mean, yeah, I guess in the sense of like everyone waiting to see, what the actual sale of WWE means. I mean, maybe this is what's happening right now. Like any movement. Obviously, like the rumor that hit the internet last night, then everyone went nuts about it. Even I was like, even when they said the rumor, I was like, okay, well, nothing's been. I expected when the rumor came out last night. If
Mm-hmm.
I woke up and it was confirmed, I'd be like, okay, confirmed. And when I didn't start to hear anything else, I'm like, okay, so maybe it's not true. Like,
Yeah, if you've got like Brian Alvarez and Sean Ross Sapp and Dave
yeah,
Meltzer and Brandon Thurston, all of them being quiet, and then Brandon Thurston came out directly this afternoon and said
mm,
it's not true.
yeah. So, and we're talking about the sale of WWE to the Saudi
Yes,
to
to some
to Saudi Arabia,
Saudi, yeah,
some
exactly.
Saudi like group.
Hmm.
Yeah. It just, anyways. I mean, what the fun? I think the funny part about that is that everyone kind of just went with it because it's believable for WWE, right? I mean,
Of course.
right? Like, why wouldn't they have sold it there? Because that's who they deal with right now.
Hmm. And
It
that
was
also doesn't mean
believable.
that it's not going to be
Exactly.
sold to Saudi Arabia. It just means the rumor last night was not true. That's all that means.
Yeah, it hasn't been confirmed. It's just
Yeah.
simply a rumor. That's all it
Mhm.
is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%. Yeah. But there is another wrestling company out there that we do watch.
Mm-hmm. And they have a show today
They do. They
that we're gonna be
do.
watching.
So what we're going to do tonight on this show, as most of you who listen to us regularly probably know by now, but if you're a new listener, first of all, welcome to our podcast. We are very pleased and happy to have you. And secondly, what we do on these AEW shows is that Krishna and I are going to predict the card. We're going to go through the matches, have a look at them. What do we think? What's going to be good? What's not? Is anything on tonight's card going to reach that all important Omega level or the new scale? the Omega Osprey level.
Oh, that's a
Then
pretty high scale.
that's a very high scale. That's like another level above the Omega level. The but and then we're gonna go watch Dynamite right along with the rest of you, and then we're gonna come back. We're gonna review the show, give our thoughts, and find out if our predictions came true or not. So yeah, we have quite the card tonight. Want to get into it?
Yep, let's do it.
Okay. Dynamite is coming to us tonight from the Kia Forum in Inglewood, California. And we are going to hear from the Jericho Appreciation Society fresh off their surprise appearance at the Battle of
PWG.
Los
Yeah.
Angeles.
PWG, Pro Wrestling Gorilla. Like, yeah.
Mhm.
I saw this on Twitter a couple days ago where like Chris Jericho makes his first appearance at PWG. I was like, now, had I not been reading the Young Bucks book, I wouldn't know what PWG was. But then now reading it, I'm like, oh yeah, that's right, Pro Wrestling Gorilla. Good. Like, this is interesting. Like, this is kind of cool, right? I mean, um, uh, the fact that Jericho's just making appearances everywhere right now, like I like this. I like the fact that the JAS are out there. Like you can. I like the fact that AEW has these contracts where it's like, listen, we're not going to tie you down specifically. Only AEW can't do anything else. Like they're like, yeah, AEW is your main thing, and then yeah, you can go out to these indie events and do what you have to do, like build up storylines or whatever. Great,
Mhm.
that's awesome. But yeah, so this, I'm curious where this is going because I'm like, okay, so Jericho and team beat down Starks and Andretti last week,
Mhm.
right? Um, so I'm assuming this is going to continue the storyline, is my assumption, because I'm like, they're just not going to get beaten down and then nothing happens. They start a new storyline, so I'm assuming this is what it's going to be. And listen, whenever I can hear from Chris Jericho, it's awesome because he's awesome. So I'm very curious on what's happening next with this altogether.
Yeah, I think it'll be very interesting. I wonder if he'll mention his PWG appearance. But yeah, I think no matter what, look, the Jericho
100%.
Appreciation Society, they are sports entertainment personified. And I mean like actual entertainment, not like bad sports entertainment. So they're actually entertaining sports entertainment. So yeah, I'm looking forward to see what they have to say. And it's got, like you said, it's got to be part of this ongoing feud thing,
Has to
right?
be.
There's no way it's not.
Yeah, it has
So
to be.
yeah. Anyway, they'll probably call them out or something like that because it's like what 7-on-2.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, exactly.
see if they get any more friends. Anyway, so I'm assuming this is also where we'll get our Ricky Starks appearance tonight.
Hmm.
So yep. Okay. Well, that brings us to our next match for the evening. We have Big Bill and Lee Moriarty taking on Jungle Hook.
I just read that Jungle Hook. I was like, is this a typo? Was he trying to spell Jungle Book? Is that
No.
what was happening right now? Okay, well, I have hopes for this match. Um, I think AEW knows how to use their big guys, and which I like. And Hook, well, and the other three guys are great. Like I still think Hook is still a big green, but he's really really good. Jungle Boy and Moriarty are just, they're amazing. So
Yeah.
so I think that this is actually going to be this is definitely. I'm looking at the card. The card is actually pretty great tonight,
You
right? Pretty
think?
great card. This is going to be a good match. I think it's and by me saying this, it's not going to be the worst match on the card. Is not saying that it's gonna be bad. This is just saying that there's so many good, like out of the 5 matches, right? Out of 5 matches, this is gonna come in at number 4 for me.
Coincidentally, I also agree. This match is going to come in at number 4. Um, yeah, no, I'm looking forward to this because actually I think Jungle Boy and Hook, like I said, it's the first time I've ever been like excited to see Hook in a wrestling ring.
Yeah,
So I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do. I
same.
like the fact he's pairing up with Jungle Boy. I think they make a great team. I like
Mhm.
the fact they've now completely removed Jungle Boy from this whole Luchasaurus thing for a while. Like that's just in the poor Luchasaurus. He doesn't seem to be anywhere anymore.
Is he
But
hurt? I thought I saw
was
somewhere
he
he might be hurt.
hurt? Oh,
Maybe.
interesting. I should
Yeah, he
really be
might be
checking
hurt.
the injury
Yeah.
report. But yeah, okay, cool. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this, and it will be the 4 out of 5 match today,
Yeah.
and
Fourth.
I think that we're going to see through shenanigans, Big Bill and Lee Moriarty go over Jungle
Win.
Hook.
Probably. Yeah, I'm thinking
Yep.
the same thing.
Okay. Next up, then we have Jamie Hayter and Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, taking on Saraya and Toni Storm.
So this is gonna be the fifth out of the 5 matches today for me. Just I'm looking at I saw the Killer and the Pillar fight the twins. I keep on the twins,
The Renegade
but
twins.
the Renegades on Friday. They were awesome, man. That was such a good match. And I'm looking at Saraya and Toni Storm, and I'm like, these guys are obviously pushed to the moon based on who they are, not what they can do, who they are. But we're not going to get the same quality. So I'm like, I'm not really that excited for this match at all. I'm kind of like, we're going to get greatness from like half of the people here. And the other two are going to be doing, look, Saraya, let's be real, still ring rust. So she's not going to be wrestling much. But then you got Toni Storm, who has her move set, right? So she will do her move sets, and then that would be it. So I'm not really excited for this match. This is going to be put in the death hour or the death, whatever you want to call
Death
it.
spot, yeah.
Death spot. But yeah, 5. This is going to be number 5 out of the 5 matches.
I have a feeling the death spot tonight will be early.
Think so?
Yeah, because they're going to need time for that main event we're getting
Match?
tonight.
Okay.
Yeah. We're definitely going to need some time for that. So they're not going to do an Escalera de Muerte in 15 minutes. So anyway, well, I guess they could, but probably not. Yeah, I agree with you with this match. I mean, Saraya is not the Paige of NXT fame who had some really solid matches. She's got to prove herself again. And Toni Storm, I don't know what WWE did to her, but she's just there. She's not totally sucky, but she's not very good in my mind.
She wrestles their wrestling.
Yeah, she wrestles, and that's not to say like I'm not. I want to clarify. I don't think she's a bad wrestler. I just think she's not a good wrestler.
Yeah,
her moves are fine, but she looks like she has no force behind them most of the time. I just want to make that exception. We did see some sparks from her when she got into some more striking exchanges with people, and there was some more impressive stuff there. But she has her 5 moves of doom, so and she tends to stick to those. And I'd like to see her get out of her comfort zone and do more strong style stuff. And she can do that against Jamie Hayter. I mean, these two women are both Stardom alumni, right? And Stardom is, as I continue to say, some of the best women's wrestling, some of the best wrestling on the planet. These women were there. Hello. Anyway, Jamie Hayter represents it very well. So that brings us to Jon Moxley taking on Hangman Adam Page.
I'm going to put this match as number 2 out of the top 3. I think I've been kind of waiting for this match because, again, Hangman's awesome. Mox is awesome. They know how to cut promos. This is his kind of it's not really, like, as Hangman put it, it's not revenge he's going after. He's just upset because he feels insulted, basically. So I'm very curious because I love the fact that Mox is like, dude, just business. Like, what do you think was gonna happen, right? So I'm expecting a really, really good match from these two. So I was hesitant. I was gonna put this as number 3, but I'm like, you know what? With the story and everything like that, I'm thinking this might be number 2. So I'm gonna put this in the number 2 spot today.
I can see that. It's staying in my number 3 spot. But that's not to say much. I mean, this match is going to be outstanding, right? Hangman versus Mox. Come on. That's going to be amazing. And you've got the whole grudge match aspect to it, right? You've got like just Jon Moxley having to defend against that. You've got Hangman. I think Hangman's going to win this match. It wouldn't surprise me if Mox won, but I'm going to go and say Hangman's going to win.
Yeah, so, I'm going out with Hangman. I'm thinking Hangman's going to win this too.
Yeah, and I think we're going to see a lot of Mox targeting Hangman's head. So it could get very interesting. So I'm greatly looking forward to this match.
Number 3.
That was my number 3, and I'm greatly looking forward to the match. That's how stacked tonight's card is. We'll move on to Krishna's number 3 and my number 2.
Yeah.
Bryan Danielson taking on the guy who made it to the finals of the Battle of Los Angeles 2023 and lost to Speedball Mike Bailey.
Konosuke Takeshita. Yeah. I put this number 3 because, again, I know the whole point is Danielson is going through everyone to get to MJF. That's the storyline. Though I listen, if you want to go through people, like putting Takeshita there, that's a person that you need to go through. These two guys going at it, yeah, like Danielson, he doesn't seem like he's aging at all. Um, Takeshita is this young hot superstar. Like this guy is so good, and he fights like any type of match you want to do. This guy is capable of doing. He's elite. I'm telling you right now, this kid is elite. Um, the only reason is just because I thought if this is an MJF storyline and this has anything to do with him getting to M, I just don't care, right? That's the only thing that took me back a little bit. But this match is going to be awesome. I was again going back and forth. Should this be 2? Should this be 3? I just made a decision. So someone number 3 spot. I could be proven wrong. Potentially could steal the night. Potentially, but I don't know about that with the last match there.
Yeah, it's going to be tough, I think, to beat the last match. So I'm going to like you've said before, don't bet against the elite.
Don't
So
do it.
I'm not going to bet against the elite. The this match. I mean, you have 2 great in-ring storytellers, and like you have a total master of it in Bryan Danielson.
Mm-hmm.
So this match, I think, is going to be outstanding. And for all the MJF stuff, the one name that we didn't mention is Don Callis.
Oh yeah.
Does Don Callis, who's been around Konosuke Takeshita the whole time, and in fact responded in kind when he tweeted out the picture of himself with Konosuke Takeshita, and then Disco Inferno said, "Are you teaching him Japanese because he's going to have to learn how, or are you teaching him English because he's going to have to learn how to speak English?" To which Don Callis replied, "He already speaks better English than you."
I love Don Callis.
Yeah, Don Callis is pretty great. Yes, he also told Will Ospreay tonight that when Ospreay tweeted he'll take on anyone in Britain at the next Rev Pro event, he's like, it's good for you to take a hiatus or a trip somewhere else for a while. Oh, Don. Anyway, do I think he gets involved tonight? Yes. This is the perfect opportunity to do it, especially because we know Takeshita will likely lose the match. And I think that what's intriguing about that is that's where Don Callis can step in.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you could have won this match if you were doing exactly. And I think he's like the perfect addition to the elite.
Oh yeah.
So
100%.
I think, yeah, because I think, you know what might be kind of intriguing too is, you know, there's a certain Kota Ibushi floating around.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, what if they're going to move in a direction of Kenny with kind of more of a Japanese stable and the Bucks are getting kind of upset, right? Like you could do something like that. It might they've done stuff like that before, right? The Golden Lovers versus the Bucks and that kind of thing. So yeah, you never know. I think we're in for some not what we're expecting storylines around the elite coming up this year.
Well, as Kenny was upset about in the Bucks book, right? He didn't want to fight or be in the Bullet Club because he's like, we're elite. We should be wrestling each other,
mm-hmm.
right? So,
yeah, exactly.
Confidence. I love it. I absolutely love it.
Yes, but I mean, yeah, precisely. And give me all of the, you know, elite versus Konosuke Takeshita. That would just be great. So
that'd be awesome.
Anyway, this will be my second favorite match of the night with a slight potential to steal match of the night. But I'm not betting against the elite because tonight we have the finals in the Death Triangle taking on the elite in an Escalera de Muerte, the ladder of death, for the AEW Trios Championship. Who cares about the best of 7 anymore? One match, winner gets the belts, end of story. They'll be hanging over the ring. We were building to this ladder match anyway. What do you think, Krishna?
I think the first match we saw with the Lucha Brothers versus the Bucks was a ladder match. And I think we were blown away by that match. Absolutely blown away. You've now added Pac and Kenny Omega to that mix. I don't know what to think. I really don't know what these guys are going to do. And Kenny coming off his win last week, right? Or last week.
Yeah, was it 1 week ago?
Yeah, it was 1 week. Holy crap. Like coming off his win last week, this guy's gone through hell. And like, what are you doing, man? Come on, Kenny. Like, I get it. You're better. What are you trying to kill yourself again? But I don't know what these guys are going to do. The question, Bill, do we see anything from a Mr. Will Ospreay?
I don't think so. I think
Too
he's
early?
busy with Rev Pro right now.
Okay.
That
Because
was his whole thing today, was the announcement to Rev Pro, and he'll take on any comers, and
all
so
right.
it seems that's where he's turning his attention briefly.
Yeah, this match,
So
this match is gonna be it's gonna be match of the night
yeah,
easily. I don't know what to expect. I just think it's gonna be absolutely amazing.
yep,
Yeah.
who wins?
Oh, it's gonna be the elite. The elite are 100% winning this match. There's no way unless I'm gonna put a caveat here. Unless they are somehow screwed out of this match. Again, they somehow are, and it's not by Death Triangle, someone else. And by someone else, I actually mean by the House of Black, right? But I think the better thing is for them to win the titles and then get attacked by House of Black, right?
Right.
So but I'm gonna stick with the elite is going to win this match, and I don't have like fingers crossed they do, because I'm putting all my money on this that the elite are winning this match tonight.
Right. Yeah, I again, I'm not going to bet against the elite either. The elite are going to win this match tonight. I think it sets up what they intended to do all along with the trios titles. I think we're finally going to see whatever storylines they concocted around them. So yeah, the elite are winning this tonight. Death Triangle is not. It wouldn't surprise me if we see a bit of a split in Death Triangle tonight, because they've been kind of teasing a bit of dissension anyway. Right, it might be time for Pac to kind of go do his own
Singles,
thing. Maybe, but we'll see. I mean, maybe there is no dissension. Maybe they just go on to do other things again as a group. But yeah, I do think that the elite's first opponent needs to be the House of Black. So we shall see what happens. I am looking forward to it. I think it's going to be insane.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I hope none of them get hurt.
Same.
Because that would suck, especially Kenny Omega. I mean, of the 6 guys in the match, the one I want to get hurt the least is Kenny Omega, because you need to stay healthy to fight Will Ospreay all year. Thank you.
Yep.
So yeah, I think this match has the potential easily to reach the Omega level. So
100%. Yeah.
yeah. And
I'm
I
hoping
think
this
that
is the
if
best match out of the entire series. That's what I'm hoping.
Oh yeah, me too. I hope so too. And yeah, I think this there's enough good matches on this card tonight. This Dynamite could be an Omega level Dynamite.
Fingers crossed. Like so far, all the matches we talked about, like they range from good in terms of the women's match to amazing, right? And like it's I don't see a flaw right now in this tonight's card. So
no, it's like a 2-hour pay-per-view card, really.
Yeah.
So,
basically, yeah.
So yeah, I am looking forward to it. So why don't we go watch this show?
Let's go do it.
Okay. As always, we will be back. And we are, as promised, back. That was AEW Dynamite, which came to us tonight from the Kia Forum in what they announced as LA, but it's technically in Inglewood, but whatever, LA, California. We had Excalibur, Taz, and Toni on commentary, and we start right off with a match. Jon Moxley taking on Hangman Adam Page. Mox seems to get really lost on his way to the ring. He even headed for a back entrance before turning around. I don't know. He had no one with him at all this time. And yeah, anyway, poor Mox. Hangman is having his first match since October. He comes out all fired up. They go at it immediately. There's a lot of back and forth, strikes, elbows, chops. The crowd seems to be pretty evenly split between the two guys. Mox hits the most deadly move in pro wrestling, the back rake, this time combining it with a bite. He lands a series of Germans, but Hangman manages to reverse one. He blasts Mox, but when he sets up for the buckshot elbow, Mox knocks him outside into the rail. But when Mox follows him out, Hangman nails him with a lariat. I mean, that's the story of this match. These guys went back and forth and just killed each other. But after rolling him back in the ring, Mox hits a vicious lariat of his own, the one he used to knock Page out in October, but only gets a 2 count. Mox maintains the advantage then for quite a while. He beats Hangman down with repeated shots and moves. Hangman finally counters him with a backdrop and a lariat, and both are down in the ring. They exchange forearms as they get up until Hangman hits a fallaway slam. Mox tries to counter with a German, but Hangman lands on his feet and lariats Mox down, followed by a boot on the apron, setting Mox to the floor, and a beautiful-looking Orihara moonsault. Hangman goes for the buckshot, but Mox counters, lands the Death Rider for a huge near fall. He locks in the Bulldog choke, and after some hammer and anvil elbows, lands a pile driver, but Hangman kicks out at 1. Mox lands some kicks. Hangman counters with a dead eye, but Mox rises up immediately and hits a curb stomp before he collapses to the mat, too. They get up, they exchange more forearms. Mox headbutts Hangman 3 times, but Hangman comes back with slaps, a lariat, and a buckshot lariat for the 3. Mox is then attended to by doctors after the match, and we find out later he was walked to the back by physicians. Krishna, what did you think of this match?
Yeah, this match was great. This was a really like cool way of kicking off the show. The back and forth, these guys just trying to take each other's heads off. Like Hangman never really has a bad match, and Mox came to fight tonight. It was like, these two guys are so awesome. We knew the outcome of this. Well, I mean, it could have gone anyway, but like at one point I thought, damn, is Mox really gonna win again? But no, Hangman picks up the win. I love Hangman's facial impressions as he leaves the ring. He kind of stops and he looks concerned about Moxley lying in the corner, because at the end of the day, Hangman is still the nicest wrestler in the world. So it doesn't matter how angry he gets, he can never lose that. And he eventually just walks to the back, but he showed concern for Mox. Just just maybe a callback to the fact that Mox, after Mox had not literally knocked him out, did show concern for him as well. But yeah, no, this was a great match. Was it the number 2 match? No, I think it fell to the number 3 match. But yeah, overall it was 3 out of like out of the 5 matches, it was a third one, like 3 out of 5. So really good start to the show.
Yeah, I mean, come on, we're talking like, a 4-star match here at least.
Yeah, at
And we're
least.
calling it the number 3 match on the night.
Yep.
This is an insane show tonight.
Mhm,
So yeah,
mhm.
I agree with you. This match, I loved the hard hitting aspect of it,
Yep.
right? Neither guy could take the other down. Both of them were so fired up. They kept coming back. I mean, there was just so much like strong style type stuff in this that I loved it. Neither guy wanted to lose. Neither guy would stay down. Great match. I loved it. But for me, also the number 3
Yep.
match. So, but an excellent opening to the show. Crowd was really hot, right into it. Good stuff. And then Tony Schiavone is in the ring and he says, I take no pleasure in welcoming my next guest. And I'm thinking, okay,
That's
your next
MJF. Yeah.
guest. That's great. I mean, who is it? Like MJF? Is that who we're getting now? Because, but no, Adam Cole's music hits. And I'm
Yep.
like, are you kidding me right now?
Yep.
Like, wow, best kept
Mhm,
surprise in wrestling.
mhm.
And then Adam Cole gets in the ring, hugely over. This crowd was so loud welcoming him back. And he comes out, he goes, who's ready for story time with Adam Cole, baby? I've been thinking all day about what to say today. The best way to describe it is this is a good news, bad news situation. The crowd didn't like it when he said bad news. He goes, I'll start with the good news. I have a whole new appreciation for pro wrestling in my life. When I was 9, all I ever wanted to do was be a professional wrestler. And I've done some amazing stuff, including with the best professional wrestling company on the planet, AEW. It also made me realize how much I miss getting to be here. Past few months, I was really banged up. Shoulder torn to shreds, 2 back-to-back really serious head injuries. I was scared. I was seeing doctors multiple times a week. And he goes on to describe his symptoms in some detail, including serious anxiety attacks. And when he had those attacks, Britt would ask him what's going on. And he said, I don't know what's happening to me. And he actually teared up there. And he goes, and none of you knew either. But so many of you were there for me. I would read things every day about people missing me, hoping I recovered. This meant the world to me because pro wrestling is a give and take type of situation. We give you everything we have in the ring, and in return, you show appreciation. But I gave you nothing for 6 months, and you were still there for me, and I am eternally grateful. Then he says, now for the bad news. The
Mhm.
thing is, because the crowd was pretty concerned with this, he said, the thing is, the bad news is not for me. The bad news is for the AEW locker room because Adam Cole is back. I'm not going anywhere. My career was over. I thought for sure I was finished. Instead, I stand before you saying, no way, I ain't done yet. Because I've been one of the best damn pro wrestlers on the planet for 15 years, so I will not stop until I'm the very best. And he says he's going to climb all the way to the top. He wants us to remember this day, the day the new Adam Cole was born. He's going to be on top of the mountain. And what's his name? And the audience shouts, Adam Cole, baby.
Yeah,
What'd you think?
what a return. Like I didn't this is something I didn't even expect. And I kept saying, you know, Adam Cole, we haven't heard anything about from him, haven't seen anything from him. This promo, you could tell this is just him like talking, and he's great. Like he's the crowd. Like I think the crowd was so shocked they couldn't stop. Right, they were like this crowd was really really good tonight. Right, so like the fact that he was saying, you know, like he was saying things like you know, when he was getting all the messages, even though people didn't know, and people even said like they didn't care if he wrestled again, just wanted to get better. It really got to him, and his speech felt real because it was real. It was real, and parts of me I was like, oh man, that's really this is awesome. This is why like you have the fans you do. Um, I fully expected, honestly, the bad news to be like, I'm not ready yet. That's what I
Yeah.
expected the bad news to be, right? I'm back, but I'm not ready yet. But when he was like, I'm back, I was like, holy crap, he's he's ready to go. Holy crap. So yeah, no, this what novation, deservingly so. Like promo of the night, anything you want to call it, like reveal of the night, whatever it is. Adam Cole is back, and this is just better for AEW in every single way.
Yes. Let's just hope they actually do something with him now.
True, true.
Yes. Because AEW has a lot of wrestlers.
They do.
Yes,
They
I
do.
was thrilled to see him come back. It was great. Looking forward to whatever he does next. Great promo. I love the realism to it. You know, I look forward to seeing who his first opponent's going to be. See it, watch his climb up the mountain. So then we move backstage and we have the Acclaimed. And on Rampage, they're going to be getting stars on the Hollywood Walk of Fame because apparently everyone loves the Acclaimed.
Yeah. Hey, guess what? You're outnumbered. Everyone loves the Acclaim. They're getting their stars. Um, yeah, I don't know. Like, I mean, like I saw a fan in the audience holding a sign that said, Acclaimed every Wednesday. I saw that. So I'm like, okay, so you know, they clearly came to see the Acclaim. It was again quick promo. I was like just reminding them, I'm kind of, I guess the Acclaimed are now exclusive to Rampage because they really fight most of their matches on Rampage. But hey, it was a stacked card, so there's reminding you guys, remember, we have tag team champions, because by the end of the night you are going to remember other champions. So yeah.
Yes, exactly. Including, I might add, the FTW champion,
Mm-hmm.
Hook.
Mm-hmm.
Segway. So then we have Lee Moriarty and Big Bill taking on JungleHook. So we find out very quickly this is Jack Perry's hometown because wow, was the crowd loud for Jungle Boy.
Mm-hmm.
They were loud for Hook, but they were louder for Jungle Boy. So Jungle Boy starts off with Moriarty. They go back and forth until Perry hits an Escalera arm drag and drop kick, and Jungle Hook takes over for a bit, working over Moriarty until Hathaway interferes. Jungle Boy then goes for a tope suicida to Hathaway because, you know, when the manager distracts you, forget you have an opponent in the ring and only concentrate on killing the manager, right? But Big Bill intercepts him when he jumps out. When Big Bill goes for the choke slam on the apron, though, Hook nails him with a drop kick through the ropes. And when Jungle Boy gets back in the ring, Moriarty, unfortunately, though, had time to recover and tags out. Jungle Boy tries to fight out of the corner, but Big Bill boot sends Perry reeling. Say that 10 times really fast. And Moriarty lands a knee on the side of his head on the apron, sending poor Perry to the floor where Big Bill works him over for a while. Rolling him back in the ring, Bill tags Moriarty, who locks in a couple wear down submissions on him, including a triangle that Jungle Boy finally powers out of and gets the hot tag to Hook. Hook hits a bridging Northern Lights, but Bill interrupts the pin, leading to Hook facing off with Bill. Hook goes for the T-bone suplex twice, but can't get Bill up, so Bill throws him into the corner. Unfortunately, the opponent's tag corner, not real smart, Bill. Goes for the lariat, but then he eats a Jungle Boy kick to the head when he runs in, followed by the T-bone suplex from Hook. And Moriarty tries a surprise roll up on Jungle Boy because remember, Moriarty and Jungle Boy are the legal people in this match now. And unfortunately for Moriarty, Jungle Boy reverses him, locks in the snare trap for a submission victory as Hook holds off Bill. What did you think, Mr. Deny?
I didn't think I was actually gonna like this tag team of Hook and Jungle Boy, because I like Jungle Boy and I'm okay on Hook. I think he's good. But man, they work so well together. This is such a cool young tag team. Like the Jungle Boy Luchasaurus tag team was okay. This tag team seems better in every single way. Like two young guys, like they're not big, they're fast. The one can mat wrestle, the other one's like a high flyer, and it just works. Like this takedown of Moriarty and Big Bill, like it was a fun match. Like I enjoyed it right from the beginning. Like the audience, you're right. Like when they announced Jungle Boy, I'm like, that's why Jungle Boy is coming out last, because holy crap. And you know what? Honestly, if Hook and Jungle Boy are a tag team and we don't have to hear Hook's song anymore, that's just another win on top of everything, right? So I'm in for this. I think this is an awesome tag team. I would love to see them with the belts. I think they'd be an awesome tag team with the belts. And they're so, again, so young. So young. But no, this match was awesome. I really love this match. And yeah, you know, I'm saying that this match was number 4 out of 5, but that's not giving it enough credit. Like this match was just awesome. I loved it. I thought this match was fantastic.
Yeah, I'd probably put it around the 3.5 star mark. Really
Yeah.
solid match. Yeah, I'm with you. Jungle Boy, Hook, JungleHook. I'm down for some
Yeah.
JungleHook. These guys are really good together.
Hmm.
I enjoyed this match quite a bit too, more than I actually thought I would in that sense. They're a great tag team, and I
Hmm.
really hope they keep these guys together because I would like to see some more JungleHook.
Jungkook.
That leads us to Renee in the back with Orange Cassidy and Danhausen and Paul Walterhausen. So Danhausen says to Paul Walterhausen, excuse me, Walterhausen, what's in the box? And this leads, and he had his Golden Globe with him. I guess Paul Walter Hauser, he was on Renee's podcast. He won a Golden Globe. I have no idea who this guy is at all.
I was trying to figure out who
Maybe,
he was, and I literally just figured out who he is.
okay.
He
Who is
is
he?
from Cobra Kai, and his name is Stingray. He tries to be one of be in the Cobra Kai group. I'm pretty sure he's acted in other things before, but that's where I know him from. He's Stingray. Why didn't it say Stingray from Cobra Kai? Because I would have been like, oh my god, it's Stingray.
Yes, we'll
But
we'll we'll get to people not understanding how good some other people are later on. But
yeah, no,
yeah.
no, he's good on the show. I know he is
Yes.
now.
Okay, cool. So that's fine. He's a Cobra Kai guy, which means Krishna will mark over him all day. So then Hauser just asks if the best friends are still best friends. Trent's kind of like, yeah, we're still best friends, and they all do the hen thing. That was it.
Yeah, weird, because I guess there's going to be an announcement or something. There's something in a box for Rampage or
Yeah.
something like that. Yeah, I don't know. I'm like and again, I guess Orange Cassidy is on Rampage because
He's
that's where
he's
he
basically
wrestled.
the Rampage guy
Yeah.
now.
Um cool. Just a reminder. Whatever. It's cool.
Yep, that's fine. Speaking of cool, speaking of amazing, speaking of oh my god, this match was next. Bryan Danielson versus Konosuke Takeshita. Takeshita comes out first and he gets a solid pop from this
Mhm.
crowd. They liked Takeshita quite a bit. But as soon as he gets in the ring, MJF's music hits. And he comes to the ring and he says, I'm not going to lie to you, talking to Takeshita. These people seem to think you're a big deal. But I haven't seen a lick of your stuff, but don't take that personally. I fast forward to my own stuff when I watch shows back. So correct me if I'm wrong then. Your name is Takeshita? Try not to take one in your pants tonight. You understand what I'm saying? So Takeshita says something to him in Japanese. And MJF tells him to speak American. And Takeshita tells him, I said kiss my ass. So MJF gets really upset, kind of scared looking, tells Aubrey to get Takeshita out of the ring. So she does, and for whatever reason, Takeshita actually leaves. So because MJF claims he can get him fined
Mhm.
somehow. I don't know what, and like the announcers called this out too. Like, under what rule book is he going to
Yeah.
get Takeshita fined for
Exactly.
leaving a ring where he has a match in that ring, and MJF has no business being in that ring? But anyway, MJF says people think he's scared of an Iron Man match. He makes a bunch of lame sex jokes about how long he can last because he's the real Iron Man. He's all about, okay, get this. He's all about pinning shoulders on mats and banging rats. Now, that's a reference callback to essentially a WCW 2000 gimmick. Like, we're talking the very worst period of WCW and like 3 count, because they were all about banging rats and pinning shoulders to mats and they had dances and were kind of like the Backstreet Boys, but wrestlers. And this is who MJF references. Now, there you. I don't know if they ever use that exact catchphrase. I'd have to go back and watch those nitros, and I'm not doing that. So anyway, he then tells the crowd they're irrelevant. He goes after some celebs. I'm now falling asleep. But I would also like to point out very quickly, Freddie Prinze Jr. is awesome. Do you know why he's awesome? Because he's the voice of Kanan Jarrus on Star Wars Rebels. So MJF, you are illiterate. You don't know anything. He is amazing because Kanan Jarrus is amazing. So anyway, and then he says your heroes suck. Danielson will catch you down, let you down. Catchphrase that's interrupted by Danielson's music.
And
so what'd you think of the MJF stuff?
I mean, it was like standard like heel promo cutting. I didn't care for like when he was attacking the fans because again, it just seemed normal. I laughed when he was making fun of Ken Jeong because Ken Jeong's facial impression. He just seems so upset but Ken Jeong is Ken Jeong. He's hilarious. Freddie Prinze, it was crazy because you know Freddie Prinze, his background in wrestling, right? Like all the other stuff. So it's funny that I was like, Freddie Prinze is in the audience. Okay, sure, why not? And yeah, it just went on. I think it actually went on a little bit too long, to be honest with you, because I'm like, you had Takeshita come out, and then this segment happened, and it just kept going and going. I'm like, so Takeshi's just standing outside right now, just waiting for his match to be, and they made comment about that. Takeshita was warmed up, and then he had to stand for like whatever. It's like this is it was such a weird place to put MJ. I literally thought when Adam Cole challenged the back room, and I give AEW credit for letting him have his time, I thought MJF was going to come out. When he said, I'm putting the back room in on notice, and I thought MJF would at least come out and do something, but he comes out here because you're right. It would probably confuse people and whatever. Anyways, yeah, this thing was again just general heel cutting. You can tell a little bit that I think MJF has been muzzled by Tony Khan. You know what? Deservingly so. He needs to be put in his place a little bit. Because regardless, he pushed Takeshita. He's like, oh, I've heard you. You're a pretty big deal around here, right? And Takeshita is supposedly getting a big push, deservingly so. So I mean, like, whatever. Like he's I could care less about MJF at the moment. I really do want someone to beat him for that belt, so I don't have to listen to him anymore. The best sign during this promo was MJF, then now forever.
Oh,
like, yes, please just go. Please just go. Right. Yes. And then if you notice, and you may not have noticed, but right beside it, someone was holding a sign that said, "Thank you, TK, for signing Takeshita." And I was like, bravo, bravo sign.
Well, that's, to me, that's AEW in a nutshell, right? Yeah. I don't need crap like this. Yeah. Because honestly, I was probably big surprise. I was less impressed with his promo than you were. That borderline racist crap he was pulling on Takeshita. I'm like, what is this, 1983? Yeah.
Basically.
Like, seriously, dude, you skated a line there. Seriously. Like, in this day and age, we're going to do this with Japanese wrestlers? In this day and age? Seriously? Right. And I mean, kudos to Takeshita for just playing it up and just very simple delivery and scaring the hell out of MJF, because you know what would happen if Takeshita fought MJF in a ring? MJF would be forced to cheat to win, because there's no way in a wrestling match that he's beating Konosuke Takeshita.
Oh yeah.
Because MJF, quite frankly, sucks. So sorry guys, I have zero love for this guy, and every promo he cuts, it just gets lower and lower and lower and lower. I mean, seriously, lame sex jokes about an Iron Man match. Again, is this 1983? Like, I feel like I'm listening to old-timey WWE promos, and I'm kind of tired of it. There's a great place there, because when you go there, those kind of promos are then, now, and forever.
Yep.
So yes, please go. Thank you. Because you suck, not my heroes. And until you know that Freddie Prinze Jr. was Kanan Jarrus, get off my screen. So the match starts. Danielson countered the Blue Thunder Bomb early, but Takeshita counters the armbar, and they face off again. Danielson locks on the Romero Special, transitioning it into the Dragon Sleeper, but Takeshita rolls out, resulting in a strong-style forearm and chop exchange between the two, one of many in this match, ending in a super fast Takeshita line. But Danielson comes back with an underhook suplex and tries to lock on Juji Gatami. I then realized this was all in a commercial break, which is weird because, oh my God, what a commercial break. Takeshita breaks out with a series of forearms, but soon after, Danielson gets Takeshita in the corner for kicks and 2 running drop kicks, but Takeshita reverses the third into a massive Blue Thunder Bomb for 2. The crowd is chanting Takeshita at this point. Takeshita lands some heavy chops. He cuts Danielson open, but like with chops. But Danielson comes back with an elbow strike. They go through another strong style chop exchange. Takeshita sends Danielson to the mat, and he gets up and just starts landing kicks. He then sends Takeshita out of the ring, nails a tope suicida, crashing Takeshita into the barricade. Danielson rolls Takeshita back into the ring, climbs the turnbuckle, but Takeshita pops up, catches him, goes for a superplex, but Danielson reverses it again, getting Takeshita into the tree of woe, and then landing the yes kicks. He then goes for an avalanche back suplex, but now Takeshita fights out, nailing a lariat off the top rope for a near fall. Takeshita goes for a power bomb, but Danielson counters, head scissoring him to the outside, where he lands a running knee off the apron. But Danielson takes the brunt of it because he crashes into the rail. This allows Takeshita to recover first, and he nails a sheer drop brainbuster on Danielson on the floor. He rolls Danielson back in the ring, goes for a senton atomico, but Danielson gets his knees up, locking in the label lock in the center of the ring. Now, I admit, I thought this was going to be the end of the match, right? Because Takeshita was fighting his way out hard, but then Danielson pulled that other arm back, and I'm like, oh, okay, here comes the finish. But no, Takeshita actually fought his way to the rope, so I totally bet on that. Danielson lands more yes kicks, but Takeshita catches the last, nails an elbow. They exchange elbows again until Takeshita floors Danielson with another lariat. Takeshita went for a knee strike, but Danielson counters into the hammer and anvil, but Takeshita lifts him up into a fireman's carry out of the hammer and anvil. Danielson tries to reverse into a roll-up, but Takeshita catches him and lands a reverse pile driver, followed by a deadlift German for a massive near fall. People are standing on their feet at this point. Takeshita, that was like that spot. Like everybody, you've got to go see that spot. Takeshita maintains waist control and goes for another German, but Danielson lands on his feet this time. Takeshita goes for the running knee. Danielson dodges, lands the Busaiku knee, and again, I honestly thought that was the finish. And Takeshita kicks out. Danielson then lands the head stomps, locks in the Muda lock, and that's the end of the match. Danielson gives him a huge show of respect.
Yeah.
Krishna, what did you think?
Yeah, no, I thought this match was basically almost flawless. I thought everything these guys did, like Takeshi's so good, and Danielson, like, well, it's Bryan Danielson. What do you expect, right? Um, uh, I I was watching Takeshi, and like this guy is so fast. I love the reversals. I love how they're reversing almost everything. I think the one spot I wanted to see again was the one where Danielson did the running knee outside, because I think what was supposed to happen there, because if you look, they actually really did fall awkwardly, right? That was a miss. Because as you know, Takeshi quickly popped up and gave him that little spike I guess it was a pile driver, not pile driver. Um
Brainbuster.
yeah, Buster on the ground. Because what I
Yep.
think was supposed to happen there was I think Takeshi was supposed to catch him and put him up for a slam. But regardless, who cares? He did it anyways. But overall, my goodness, these guys back and forth and back and forth. When Takeshi like kicked out a 1 count of the Busaiku knee, I was like, what the hell? Right?
Mm-hmm.
And to the point where literally Danielson had to stomp his head in and put him into the Muda lock just to keep this kid down, right? And
Mm-hmm.
at the end, it was like, yeah, this is the next big thing here, right? It was an awesome match. This was easily, again, any other night, this would have been my number one match on the show, number one match of the week. Like it was that good. But man, I mean, number two easily, right, for me. So I yeah, that's
Yeah.
that's it. Like this match is amazing.
It wasn't so easy for me to make this number 2. It is my number 2,
Mhm.
but it's really, really close. I liked the story these two guys told in the ring better than the story that was told in the ring in the last match. The only thing that separates that last match from this one is just the fact that some of the spots were just crazy enough that it got, and the sequences were fast enough that
Yeah.
it just ekes it out slightly. But this match had more story. And to be honest, it was the only match where I went, oh my freaking God. I mean, ask my wife, right? I mean, there was a point where I literally yelled out loud during this match when Takeshita hit that sequence. It was just one of the most insane things I'd ever seen, right? Getting him up into the fireman's carry out of it. Danielson reverses. He catches him in the reversal and lands that just deadly looking reverse pile driver. All right. Just, oh my God. It looked like he killed him, So yeah, it was great stuff. And then to lift him up out of that into that deadlift German, crazy. Anyway, so that was my spot of the night. Okay, because I don't think you're gonna see any, like, just because that's sheer wrestling. That there is sheer wrestling, and there's nothing I like more than sheer. You can do all the stunts you want on equipment. Nothing beats sheer wrestling. So Takeshita, you get my spot of the night. If I had to pick a wrestler of the night tonight, it would be Konosuke Takeshita. But anyway.
Sure, he could be your wrestler of the night. We'll let you have that one.
Yours is coming up next in this promo. Renee's backstage with Juice Robinson.
Hey, you leave Juice alone.
And Renee basically says to him, what are you trying to accomplish? I mean, that's a paraphrasing what Renee said, but that's essentially what she said. And Juice says, basically, I'm not a complacent guy. I'm here to kick ass, take names, win championships. So Darby Allin, I'm challenging you on Rampage. And I totally forgot Juice Robinson was in AEW until this promo.
Yeah, no, he like, I know he had signed and he was I think on Dark this week as well. Yeah. But yeah, I knew he was back. Because I was kind of like, oh, Juice Robinson's back. And then he was on the show tonight. So I'm like, oh yeah. Hey, the fans are going nuts out there. Like when they saw him, they were going crazy. So
well, he's great.
Yeah, so they know Juice Robinson. We've seen him wrestle before. He it's gonna be a good match, him and Orange Cassidy. Obviously, Orange Cassidy's not gonna lose that belt yet, but it's gonna be a decent match. And yeah, just a reminder, Juice Robinson is part of AEW
and still part of the Bullet Club.
Still part of the Bullet Club. Though what did his shirt say? What is it?
Oh, they all have shirts that have different phrases on them. They don't all say Bullet Club anymore. They all have like the personal catchphase from each member on them.
Got it. Okay.
El Phantasmos has a completely different saying on it too. So there's a guy who could stand with a stint in AEW.
El Phantasmo.
Yes. So then we get Jamie Hayter and Dr. Britt Baker DMD taking on Saraya and Toni Storm. And there's a huge benefit, by the way, to the Saraya Storm tag team. Do you know what I'm going to say right off the top?
The huge benefit to the Saraya Storm tag team?
Yes, out of the gate, like in the first moment.
Oh, they cut Toni Storm's music
off.
They
cut Toni Storm's music. Correct. That is the best thing this tag team is about. I would like to point out on the entrances, the pop for Britt Baker and Jamie Hayter were both louder than any pops for Saraya or Storm. I thought of this when they're coming down, and Jamie Hayter's like, "Oh, she's defended the title, or she's had the title now for this many days." They need to stop counting titles in days. You know what they need to start counting titles in? Defenses. Yeah. That's what Stardom does. You never hear how many days, except unless it's been a year, how long the person's held the title. It's always about how many times have you defended it, and their greatest champions are the ones who defended it the most times, not the people who held the belt the longest. They tend to correspond, but it's about defenses, right? Yeah. I mean, the match that's coming up on the 4th between Momo Watanabe and Saya Kamitani for the Wonder of Stardom, they both have the same number of defenses of that belt. So it's also about, can Momo stop her from breaking Momo's record or not? Yeah. So it's a very good story right out of the gate. Anyway, I always find some excuse to talk about something to do with Stardom on these shows. So there you go. Hayter starts off the match against Storm. The crowd is 100% behind Hayter. I mean, 100%. I did not hear one single Toni Storm chant this whole night. So they boo Saraya's "This Is Our House" when she yells it too. There's an elbow and chop exchange from Hayter and Storm to start until Storm takes her off the apron with her hip attack, giving them the advantage. Tags Saraya, who hits a dive and some knees. Hayter comes back with a double suplex though on Saraya and Storm, and Britt hits a neck breaker to the floor on Storm. All four of them brawl around outside. Now at this point, Hikaru Shida comes down to the ring for a big reaction. Um, Baker and Hayter meanwhile get the advantage during that and in the brawl. They work over Storm in the ring. Shida appears to be in the corner of Storm and Saraya. She helps Saraya back up to the apron. Hayter hits a snap suplex with that rotation that she does for a 2 count on Toni Storm. Toni finally manages to land up kicks, fighting out, making the hot tag. Saraya takes it to Baker with elbows, knees, and the nightcap for 2. Britt goes for the air raid crash, but Saraya rolls through, lands a knee strike for 2 before tagging out to Storm, who then lands her hip, and then she starts her 5 moves of doom sequence. The hip attack, her springboard DDT, and then she goes to lock in the cloverleaf, but immediately eats a vicious looking thrust kick from Jamie Hayter. They set Storm up on the turnbuckle. Baker lands an avalanche air raid crash, sort of, for 2. They land double elbows. Hayter hits the hate breaker, but Saraya interrupts the pin. Storm then hits Storm Zero, the weakest pile driver in professional wrestling, on Hayter, but Baker breaks it up like she needs to break up that. I mean, look, a child could have kicked out. And Hayter has to lie there selling that pile driver as Baker. And so, I mean, kudos to Jamie Hayter. She lay there like she was utterly dead on the mat from a pile driver that would not have taken down -1. Hayter and Storm exchange elbows then until both go down. Rebel distracts the ref and Shida throws the kendo stick in. But Britt Baker picks up the kendo stick, drills Storm with it. Hayter lands the Haterade. The ref turns back around and gets the 3. And Hikaru Shida is acting the whole time like, oh my God, that's not what I meant to do. What's going on in the ring? I don't understand. Really? That's what happened? Anyway, yeah, that was the match.
Yeah, so it's gonna be Hikaru Shida versus Toni Storm, because clearly Hikaru Shida is going heel on this. Listen, the only thing she didn't do was walk in there and smash them both, being Saraya and Storm with the kendo stick herself. Okay, she knew exactly what she was saying. I know it played out perfectly. I do think they had her come down to the ring a little too early. I was like, they're like, oh my God, it's Hikaru Shida. And then she was just there for a while. I was like, what is happening right now?
The announcers commented that she's there to counter Rebel.
Oh yeah, okay. But yeah, no, this match a lot better than I expected to be. You know what? Saraya looking better, like looking a lot better from that one-on-one match between her and Britt. Obviously Britt and Hayter are really the ones who are standing out here because as a tag team, they're great. They really are. And I love them as a heel tag team. The fact that they're able to, like I said, it's the selling really, right? Like you're right. Hayter sells everything. Like she's getting beaten down and selling some what looked like a little bit like some weak moves, but overall, like when Hayter and Storm started like throwing those punches at like closest to the beginning, I was like, okay, all right, okay, those punches look like they're hurting. But yeah, again, the right team won. The right team won this match. I love where the story's going now because I want to see Karashida go evil and take out like Toni Storm. Even hey, if she wants to join Britt's crew, by all means join them, right? But yeah, no, I'm very excited where this is going because Karashida's like, what? I didn't mean to. Yeah, yes, you did. Yes, you clearly did. I love the way she played it. So so again, the worst match of the evening, and I'm not going to call it the number 5 match of the evening, right? But still a good match, still a really good match. So I enjoyed it better than some of the matches. And you know what? I keep saying, I've been saying this for a couple of weeks, like better than some matches. But AEW's women's matches have been getting a bit better. Like I have to give them credit where credit's due. They've been getting like I'm not watching Dark, like I'm not mentioning Marina Shafir's matches or anything like that. Like we're not talking about that stuff. But the stuff that they've been having recently on Dynamite has been actually pretty good. And on Friday they're having a street fight which the women are going to go crazy for, right? So like I'm a little bit impressed. I think they're headed in the right direction. And you know what? I think Adam Cole coming out tonight silence any type of big surprise that or oh my God, is I'm totally forgetting her name now. Whatever, Mercedes Money, whatever her name is. Whatever.
Money.
Yeah, it silenced any of that. The fans were behind. The fans love this match too. right?
Yep.
Like I thought it was a great showing. Yeah, I really like this match.
Well, yeah, and I didn't think they would because like Tony Khan was smart. He headed it off last
Hmm.
week by
Hmm.
announcing the partner. They knew they weren't getting anyone but Tony Storm in
Tony
this
Storm.
match, and then they had the Hikaru Shida thing as to add
Hmm.
a little intrigue to it, right? So they went off and they told an AEW based story,
Hmm.
and it worked, and there
Yep.
was no problem running the match, and
Nope.
it was a good match. I
Yeah.
mean, the elbow shot exchange off the top. I mean, when Tony Storm wants to lay in the shots and stuff, and she seems to be adapting. Let's hope it
Yeah.
keeps up, right?
Yes.
She's looking better in the ring. Saraya was looking better in the ring. I enjoyed this match. It was solid. I like the story coming out of it. Just like you said, this would be about 3.25 stars for me. But yeah, solid match. Number 5 on the night, but that is
Hmm.
number 5 among some really good
Yeah.
stuff. There
Yep.
wasn't a bad match
Nope.
wrestled tonight in AEW. So
Correct.
yes.
Correct.
So then we get an Eddie Kingston and Ortiz segment in the back because they are going to have a match against the Kings of the Black. How do they put
Throne.
their?
Throne.
Thank you, Throne.
It,
Kings of the
that's
Black
awesome.
Throne.
What an awesome name. Oh
Yes,
God.
Kings of the Black Throne, which of course are Malachi Black and
Brody
Brody
King.
King, and they will be destroying Ortiz and Santana on Ortiz and Santana, Eddie Kingston and Ortiz on Rampage this week. But Eddie Kingston is clearly, he's obviously not a happy man right
No.
now, and he said to Ortiz, "Happy, we got the match now. I'm tired of you questioning me." And then Ortiz said something. I couldn't catch everything Ortiz said to him. It went by kind of fast, and I was confused by the constant cuts to clips.
They messed up. They had
Yeah.
to have messed up. It didn't
Hmm.
look right.
Hmm.
Because if you notice, like at one point Brody King is talking and you're like,
Yeah.
what's going on right now? Because Kingston's talking over this. I think what may have happened is they were supposed to play the House of Black clip first and then
Mhm.
play Eddie Kingston. So they messed up. They clearly just messed up
Yeah.
this match.
Yeah, it was
Um
very confusing to
yeah.
watch.
Yeah, so overall, yeah, really weird. I mean, I would have preferred to hear the House of Black talk. You know,
Mhm.
sorry, the Kings of the Black Throne. So cool. What a
Yes.
cool tag team name. Um,
Yes.
yeah, and Kingston, yeah, they're gonna break up Kingston and Ortiz. So
Yep.
yeah, it's okay.
Yeah, it was fine. And then we decide to make the ladder match shorter by bringing out the JAS. The Jericho Appreciation Society comes to the ring. They're all wearing gold jackets. They get in the ring, they line up, they pull off breakaway pants in unison. Angelo Parker gets the mic and he says, not only is Cool Hand having a great hair day, but damn, we look good. We are the Saints of Los Angeles. Daddy Magic says, do you know what makes Daddy Magic's nipples hard? How about the fact that last week Jake Hager powerbombed Ricky Starks through a table? And Jericho gets the mic and says, "This is one of the biggest weeks in JAS's history. A couple nights ago, we invaded PWG, Battle of Los Angeles. Now, why is this mentioned on the show before any mention of Omega and Osprey?
And so,
I'd just love to know.
yeah, and
I'd
we'll get
love to
to
know.
the Omega
Yeah.
Osprey thing in a second. But yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Anyway, he goes, the surprise heard around the wrestling world. Anna and Ty have a street fight Friday, but most important, Ricky Starks was put through a table. Action Andretti was sent back to the minors, and the Ricky Starks experiment is over, which is, of course, the cue for Ricky Starks' music to hit. And he comes out with Action Andretti, whose tag team name I am now dubbing them the Fashion Guys. No socks on Starks, capri sweats on Andretti with long white socks and running shoes. Great look, guys. Great look. Stark says, "You didn't get the job done." Yeah, that's now we're into babyface 101 promo.
Yeah.
And Jericho goes, "Fine, but what's with the orphan over there? You go back to the minors." Andretti gets the mic and goes, "Chris, shut up before I shove your bat up your ass." And Garcia says, "Shut your chia pet head up." And Andretti says, "Did your handler allow you to?" Say, this is some great stuff. "Did your handler allow you to speak? Oh, and what kind of guide is he anyway? Sammy can't control his own wife or where her hands go." So we are definitely back in 1983 now because apparently men need to control their wives. Kind of heel, dude. Because those hands were between my legs last week. Ha ha ha. Garcia, didn't I tell you to shut up? I was like you once, a pro wrestler, until I became a sports entertainer next to Jericho, and now I'm on top of the world. And Stark says, "It's not about you, Count Succula," referring to Jericho. "Move aside." Because, as we all know, Jericho's just terrible. He deserves the Count Succula title. Move aside. I'm talking to you, Gilligan, with the stupid hat and a reference only people over the age of 40 will get. You're a top collegiate athlete that's a village idiot with Jericho. So next week, I want you in the ring on Dynamite. So Hager says, I like my hat. I'm also an undefeated MMA fighter. I know you've got balls because I can see them in your white pants. So next week, I'm going to slap your face off your face.
Yep.
And Stark says, I'm going to help you with your speech impediment because next week you're getting in the ring with someone who is absolute.
Yeah. Yeah. And then that's how it ended. I was like, okay.
That was how it ended.
Yeah. Yeah. Like Ricky Starks is good on the mic. I just don't know what this promo was. Like, I don't like the JK girl slap your face off your face. I was like, what?
Best line.
Right. I like Jake Hager. I do enjoy the Sammy being the mentor to Daniel Garcia. It's so dumb. But it's so funny because Sammy's so good. Like his facial expressions, everything is just so good with Sammy Guevara. Jericho's really trying to help these guys. Like you can tell Jericho's and I'm talking about JS. I'm talking about like Starks and Andretti. He's really trying to help these guys. He needs to help them with their promos. He really does. He needs to help them like, guys, like I don't. It's not that I don't think they have the passion in their voice or anything like that. It's just that what are you saying? Like say something better. And that's it. I think he's capable. So you know what? I'm going to give them a pass for this week because the show has been so good anyways. And I'm hoping that next time they meet, it's better because I was like, kind of like, what don't go down the MJF route. Come on, you guys are better than this, right? So yeah, I whatever. It set up a match for next week. That's about it. I was kind of hoping that Action Andretti was going to face off against Daniel Garcia because I thought that's where it was going.
I suspect
guess
that's
not.
coming.
Yeah. Okay.
It's got to be coming, right?
Yeah.
Or we get the Fashion Boys tag team against Guevara and Garcia.
The Fashion. I was.
They will be the Fashion Boys for me until Garcia or until Stark stops dressing like that, and Action Andretti actually finds some clothes he didn't find in a dumpster out back. He looks like a guy in the minor leagues in that. Seriously.
He came out in his sweatpants and that was it. I was like, "Where's your shirt, man?"
Yeah. But gray sweatpants, and don't forget the white gym socks because they were capri sweatpants. They showed the entirety of his white gym socks and his white shoes.
Yeah,
and gray sweatpants. Good job, guy. Good job. You left your bag in the hotel. You couldn't come out in full gear instead. You know,
guess not.
Oh, anyway. Yeah, I loved everything the Jericho Appreciation Society said. I almost inversely hated everything that Ricky Starks and Action Andretti said. I thought it was terrible. Like this is not good stuff at all. This is old heel, either old like attitude era style stuff. Like, okay, dude, if you're trying to be The Rock, update the gimmick.
Yeah. Right? That's the thing, right? Like update the gimmick a bit. Like The Rock, the one thing The Rock could do was The Rock could talk, right? And he could talk about anything. So
and again, he could talk in his era. It was always the same old crappy jokes. I hated The Rock on the mic, but I can say he knew how to catch a crowd, and his jokes were what was appropriate in WWE at that time.
Yep.
Fine. Do you remember when he had the promo war with Cena years later, and we were both commenting like, "Really, dude? You're still cutting those same promos, right?"
Yeah.
This feels like Ricky Starks just took that, dumbed it down a little, and then he's got Action Andretti on like control your wife. What the hell is that?
I don't know who's writing these promos. I'm wondering if it's Tony Khan, but
yeah, Jericho definitely needs to have a serious conversation with both of them in the back, and then tell them, remember those promos I used to cut about Stephanie McMahon? They don't really work.
They don't
anymore.
work.
Yeah. You see the kind of stuff I'm doing now? That works. It's funny. Anyway, that was our lead in to the main event. Death Triangle versus the Elite in an Escalera de la Muerte for the AEW World Trios Championship. And they finally, as Kenny Omega makes his way to the ring wearing the IWGP US Heavyweight Championship, they finally, a week after the match happened, mention briefly that Kenny Omega beat Will Ospreay at Wrestle Kingdom.
Yeah, very briefly.
And he had like a small black eye. That was the entire mention of it.
Yep.
Good job, guys. greatest match in wrestling history, and you spent 5 seconds on commentary mentioning it.
Yep.
Couldn't even have like a segment, an interview, a video package. I get that it's not your video, so that's fine. Let Kenny talk, anything. But no, that's fine. And it's on at 9:47 p.m.
Yeah, it started late. I was like, what the heck?
Yeah, and they only need to grab one title apparently to win this match. So there you go. All three are hanging over the ring, but they just have to bring down one. They don't have to drop all three. The match is a waterfall to start. It's just move after move, and I don't mean just like basic moves like kicks. These are like massive moves, like huge flips, like moves, counters. These guys until Death Triangle finally takes control and gets a ladder. But that just leads to the Bucks wiping them out with kicks outside and dives, taking the ladder themselves. And then we get a waterfall again at the ladder, including a beautiful Canadian destroyer by Nick. Omega takes down the ladder and goes for the Terminator dive, but Pac intercepts with a shotgun drop kick. Omega hits a Snapdragon, though, sending Pac to the outside where he goes for the Terminator dive, but Pac dodges, and Omega goes right through a table on the floor. Matt immediately dives off the top, trying to put Pac through a table, but Matt takes by far the worst of it, and this leaves Nick in the ring alone with the Lucha Brothers, where they start to work him over. Kenny eventually gets up, goes back in the ring, and tries to help him, but eats super kicks. And then they hit the top rope kick to the groin with a ladder against Kenny Omega's poor groin. This all happened, everything I've described so far, all of these moves and stuff happened in 6 minutes. Like the pace this match was working was absolutely insane. These guys were working so fast, so furious at like 100 miles an hour. Matt crawls in the ring and fights over a ladder with Penta until Nick lands a knee on Penta. Penta tries to put Matt into a ladder, but he reverses it, back body dropping Penta onto it. But Penta manages to get off the ladder in time for Rey Fenix to send Nick into the same ladder with a Hurricane Rana from the top rope. A Fight Forever chant starts. Pac stomps on the ladder with Omega on a different ladder with Omega's hand trapped in it. That looked painful as heck. And then he sets the ladder up. Omega goes for the one-winged angel, but Pac lands the poison run in a counter and then a snap German to Nick. The Lucha Brothers hit the fear factor to Kenny and Penta climbs, but Matt catches him. The Bucks come back with a super kick partay. Matt lands his Northern Lights series on Rey and the last one into a ladder. Nick then sets Penta up on a table on the outside and does an amazing 450 splash right through the table onto Penta. Matt climbs the ladder, but Rey catches him. He kicks Rey down, but Alex Abrahantes, with Matt all alone on the ladder, shoves down the ladder, only to get Brandon spray to the face and eats a V-trigger from Kenny Omega. So Omega sets the ladder up again, but Pac hits Omega's hand with the ring hammer and then lands off. Then when Omega rolls out, lands a Falcon arrow to Kenny Omega on the floor. And I'm pretty sure Kenny Omega was now dead, but we would find out later he is not. Pat climbs the ladder, but Matt climbs up the other ones. Now, behind Matt's back, the Lucha Brothers grab another ladder, slide it so it's sitting on top of the ropes and one of the steps of the ladder, making like a bridge. And then they grab Matt, and Penta hits the fear factor on the ladder to Matt. So Fenix starts to climb, but Omega climbs up now. They fight, and Omega lands the one-winged angel to poor Rey Fenix off the ladder onto the mat. Pac then immediately goes for a black arrow on Omega, but Omega gets his knees up. Kenny climbs the ladder and grabs the title, and the Elite are the new AEW World Trios champions.
And everything is right in the world again. Yeah. What can I say about this match? Kenny Omega has a death wish, apparently. I guess his goal is to sell every single move, break his body, and whatever, sending himself through like, my God, when he did that Terminator like dive and totally missed Pac because Pac dodged and went right through the table. I was like, what the hell? What's going on right now? And then they just kept beating him down and beating. I was like, this guy knows he has to wrestle Will Ospreay again, right? Like, what the heck is going on right now? So, I thought the Bucks obviously had a great showing because they're the Bucks and they were in California. So, their hometown. Well, yeah, home state, I should say. Yeah, this match, it's one of those things where you're like, it, as Matt Jackson always says or said in this book, like all they want to do are spot fests, right? Because the people will get mad at them because they're like, well, if you do all this stuff, what's gonna happen in the main events? Well, maybe they should just be main eventers because what else are you going to put in after these kind of showing, right? And like Kenny, what happened at Wrestle Kingdom with Kenny and Osprey?
Yeah, but that
Why?
wasn't a
Like,
spot fest.
it wasn't. But why would you put that match on before? I know you have to, but come on. You thought Okada and White were going to put on anything close to that match? Doubt it. No, this match obviously amazing. Like again, now I'm curious where the storylines are going. I do think the mention of the Osprey Omega match was so brief. Like I'm almost like, are you guys trying to ignore it? Like what exactly is happening here? Um, but yeah, no, it's such a great match. Like obviously my match of the night. I think all these guys, what they've put their body through for 7 grueling matches, I've never seen this before, right? The things these guys have done, and it's all of them. It's every single one of them, right? Like no one should get less credit than anybody else. I love the V Trigger and Alex Abrahantes because I was like, this guy's such an idiot. He's such a fool, right? Every time he comes out, I'm like, oh god, Alex Abrahantes is out. So when he pushed Matt off the thing, I'm like, wait, are they gonna win? What the hell's going on? I actually thought when Kenny was about to reach for the belt and he couldn't grab it, I thought we were gonna get a surprise. I thought the lights were gonna go off. I was like, oh my god, something gonna happen here? And then even when they all got the belts and they're kind of standing there, I'm like, is something gonna happen? But hey, they got their due. They lead are the champions. They rule AEW. Let's go. Let's go.
Yep.
I'm ready for whatever's coming next.
Oh, of course. Well, the elite with belts, that's great. Yeah, I also had a brief moment where I thought, is someone going to come out? And then I remembered this is AEW.
Yeah.
90% of the title wins. The new champion actually gets to celebrate in the
Yeah.
in the ring with the belt, right? They don't do that. Let's ruin their moment thing very often, right? It has
Mhm.
happened occasionally, but it's pretty rare. So
Yep.
I was glad to see them just get the belt, celebrate. It's wonderful. Yeah, I don't think I liked the match as much as you did. I definitely liked it. I enjoyed it. It was a great match. I'd put it at about 4.25. A lot of spots.
Mhm.
A lot of spots. Very little storytelling. And I you know what? I don't blame the wrestlers for that.
Yeah.
This match started at 9:47. What
Yep.
are you
Yep.
doing a ladder match in 13 minutes?
Yeah.
Like, in all honesty, the final match of this should have been given half an hour minimum. These guys could have
Agreed.
gone half an hour minimum. Pace it a little slower.
Mhm.
It would have been okay paced slower. All right. This match was paced at absolute breakneck speed, which is a testament to these guys that they can
Mhm.
all wrestle at that speed. They
Yeah.
all went out there and just hit the gas and didn't let up.
Yeah. Agreed.
So kudos to them. This was a great match put on by 6 great wrestlers, right? No taken away from that. You're right. This best of 7 series, well, I mean, it's the best of 7 series I've ever seen in wrestling, but
Yeah.
of course, it's also the only best
Only
of 7.
best of
Oh, no,
7. Yep.
wait. Was it? Didn't we get a best 7 between Sheamus and Claudio
I
Castagnoli?
think, was it 7? Maybe it was. I don't know.
I
Maybe it
don't know.
was.
But anyway, they had a best of series for a while too. So, okay, I now have 2 to go on. This one was better. So, yeah, yeah, I mean, it was an amazing. You're right. These guys put themselves through match after match. They managed to pull off a different match every single time.
Yep.
Right? Which is a testament to them. Now, there were a lot of gimmicks approaching the last matches. I
Mhm.
think I would have preferred to see a cleaner 3-on-3 match to finish this off and not necessarily a ladder match. But I guess, if you're going to put a ladder match in, it's going to be the last one with the titles hanging from the ceiling. So
Yep.
that's fine. Um, yeah, I mean, great job, guys. You see, here's the thing. I saw Kenny Omega at Wrestle Kingdom. I saw what
Yep.
he can do with the emotion, with the selling, all of that. That Kenny Omega wasn't here tonight.
No.
We got just flat out, you know, wrestling Kenny Omega, which, by the way, are just flat out wrestling Kenny Omega is still better than 90% of guys in the back room, right? But, you know, I want more out of these guys. I wanted more story. I wanted more callbacks to the other matches. I wanted something to breathe. I mean, I can't say this was my favorite of the 7 by any stretch of the imagination. In fact, I'd put it in the bottom couple,
Mm.
which is unfortunate. Yeah, there were some great ladder spots, but I've seen spots like that
Yeah.
before. Those table spots looked vicious, but again, it's guys crashing through tables.
Tables.
I've seen this before. It doesn't take away from the fact that I love it when I see it and it looks awesome, but I expect more out of these guys. I expect innovation, right? I expect storytelling. I expect like that, right? What I wanted out of the night was a 5-star match, and what I got was about a 4.25. So, not a terrible match by any stretch. A match I will enjoy, a match I will remember, a match that was great. Match
Yep.
of the night
Yeah.
tonight.
Yeah.
This isn't an Omega level match for me. It might be for you, but it's not an Omega level match for me because it really was breakneck speed spots on ladders
Yeah. It was. I agree.
with very little story, which is unfortunate because you had a 7-match lead up to this where you could tell massive. I mean, the Hammer got one brief spot,
Yeah.
right? And the Hammer was such a fundamental part of that early story. One brief spot, no tension between the Death Triangle members at all. None, right? No one, like Kenny wasn't even really selling injuries.
Yeah.
There was very little selling on anything in this match. People were put through tables. I mean, okay, Matt did a good job with those ribs for a while, right? Kenny did a decent job. I mean, there was some selling. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, maybe I'm just being super picky. Maybe I'm just still suffering from watching so many great matches for the last couple of weeks, and I had such high hopes for this match. But I mean, that's what I mean. The Danielson Takeshita one was
It
really
was good. It was
borderline
a really
close
good
to
match.
this
Yeah.
one
Yeah.
for me. So yeah. Anyway, um, great show.
Yeah. It was an awesome show. I agree. I agree with that. No, the show was fantastic. Like, I mean, the biggest obvious surprise was Adam Cole back. That's always great. Um, and yeah, like every single match I thought was great tonight. I didn't think there was like a weak point in any of it. It wasn't when I was there weren't any matches I was like rolling my eyes at or anything like that. I thought it was a great show put together for, I guess, the LA show that they're hyping so much. Yeah, yeah. I thought I enjoyed this entire thing.
Yep, me too. Great show. I would say overall for Dynamites, this is an Omega level
Oh
Dynamite.
yeah, definitely. It's definitely an Omega level Dynamite. Just based on the quality of the matches. But I would go as far, and I know you don't. For you, like the Mega match was not an Omega level, but I actually think that the trios match and the Takeshita and Danielson match were both on the Omega level, just based on what these guys can do. And yeah, maybe they can do it all the time, but just the way these guys wrestle, like it puts most wrestling to shame, right? And just on based on that, I give both those matches the Omega level status.
I can totally see that. Let me see if I'm not going to give my match of the night the Omega level. I can't give the Danielson
Yeah,
Takeshita match the Omega
yeah.
level. This is going to be the kind of thing where in a couple of days I'll look back and go, man, I should have made that Takeshita Danielson match my match of the night. Like I seriously enjoyed it more.
It was awesome. It was an awesome
It's just I
match.
think if I have to like actually objectively look at them,
Mhm.
you know, just like I said, breakneck speed, the pace, all that
Yeah,
kind of stuff, right? Just the fact that those 6 guys pulled off all that stuff so well. I mean, that's a testament there, right? But for me, it was okay, your wrestling was great,
yeah.
which is exactly what I expect from the 6 of you,
Yep, exactly.
right? So maybe I judge them harshly,
Well,
because
from
they
all
are
all
so good.
eight all eight of those guys, right? Everyone that the trios and
Hmm.
those two, like you could even say that the Mox versus Page match was, you're right, it's not a mega level, but it was a highlight of the night too.
Hmm.
Hey, heck, even the hook, or sorry, what was it called? The Jungle Hook match was a fun match to watch. Right,
Oh
the
yeah,
entire show, again, I
yeah,
agree with you. The entire
100%.
show
Yeah,
was a mega level, like, because it was
yeah.
so much fun.
And think about it, it had something really for every. You had the hard hitting,
Hmm.
like just thumping the crap out of each other match in the beginning. You had Takeshita and Danielson putting on like a wrestling clinic basically in the ring and like, strong style Japanese stuff.
Yeah,
Then you had that final match was just a ladder match with wild spots, high
and
flying.
you
Yeah.
had Adam Cole come back.
And
Like,
you
I
had
mean,
Adam
if
Cole
that
come
wasn't the
back.
highlight
Yeah.
of the night for everyone,
Yeah.
you have no heart. Like that,
Oh yeah,
like
I
this
popped
guy.
when he came out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I literally, I was like,
Yeah.
what?
Me too.
Adam
Yeah.
Cole?
Yeah.
They said I was so bad for that one. They're like, I really don't want to
I
introduce
know.
this guy. And then I'm like, Adam Cole?
They did that
Holy!
so perfectly, right? I mean, Tony
Oh,
Schiavone was the perfect guy and he just
oh,
bailed from the ring,
yeah, you
right?
built.
It was
Yeah,
just,
that was.
I'm just here to introduce him and to get you guys to pop even louder, basically.
And
So,
I mean, like, technically speaking, he wouldn't want to introduce Adam Cole, right? Because
Of
He's
course
best
not.
friends with Britt
Yeah,
Baker, right? So
exactly.
they got us there. They totally got
They
us
did.
there.
That was well done. But
Oh,
if you
good
had
job.
one phrase to summarize the evening tonight, what would it be?
Adam Cole, baby.
That's a very good one. I would counter you with, you are an asshole. I think that's what Takeshita said anyway.
No. He said kiss my ass.
Oh,
That's what he
kiss
said.
my ass. Yes, that is my phrase of the evening then. Kiss my ass. I take back the asshole one. Kiss my ass. Because Takeshita, go kill
So good.
MJF.
He's
Make
so
us all
good.
happy. You can be the next AEW champion.
He
I'd be a
can.
happy guy.
Definitely can.
Yep. But for now, this brings us to a close. And as 1/3 of the new AEW World Trios Champions, the IWGP United States Heavyweight Champion, the belt collector, the cleaner himself, always says goodbye and good night. Bang.
Good night, everyone.